How many times have you felt alone in your journey? How many times have you been told that you need to prove yourself before anyone believes in you? Think about it for a moment. How often have you felt like the weight of your dreams was too heavy to carry because there was no one to help lighten the load? We all face moments where support feels distant, where no one seems to be there cheering us on or offering a helping hand. But here's the truth. Sometimes that's exactly where the real transformation happens. Have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of your dreams alone? Like no one believes in you, and the support you need is just out of reach? It's tough when the people around you don't understand your vision or aren't ready to back you up. But here's the truth. No support until you make it is not the end of the road. It's just the beginning of your journey. What if I told you that the most significant growth in life doesn't come when the world is applauding you, but when you're walking alone? When you're facing the challenges, the self-doubt, and the obstacles all by yourself. When you're in the silence, when there's no external support, no cheering crowd, that's when you truly begin to grow. It's in the moments where no one believes in you that your resilience, your grit, and your determination are forged. The real change doesn't come from the applause of others. It comes from the strength you build within yourself, even when no one is watching. Today, we're diving deep into the powerful, yet often painful reality of no support until you make it. This isn't just some harsh reality we have to accept. It's actually a philosophy, a mindset that many of the most successful people have adopted without even realizing it. It's about self-reliance, resilience, and, most importantly, the ability to prove to yourself first that you're capable of success. You see, when we talk about making it on our own, we're not just discussing the absence of help. We're talking about the journey you must take, where no one can walk for you, no one can fight your battles, and no one can carry your burden. It's about those quiet moments where you find strength in the stillness, where the lack of external validation forces you to look inward and pull out resources you didn't even know you had. In a world that often demands instant gratification and recognition, the path to success can be a long, lonely road. But it's on this road where real change is born. Now, I want you to think back to a moment in your life, a time when you had to fight for your dreams and goals, even though no one was supporting you. Maybe you were the only one who believed in yourself, and maybe, just maybe, you didn't even believe in yourself at times. How did that feel? Was it frustrating, lonely, empowering? I'd love for you to share your experiences in the comments below. What pushed you through those moments? How did you stay committed to your vision, even when everyone else seemed to be doubting you? It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's a truth that most people face at some point. Support is often withheld until you show signs of success. This may sound frustrating, but it's a reality that many of us experience while trying to build something meaningful or achieve our goals. Why people wait for results before supporting you? The human nature of risk aversion. The truth is, people are often reluctant to invest in something uncertain. Whether it's time, money, or effort, people tend to wait until they see a solid, tangible result before committing their resources to you. This isn't necessarily out of malice. It's a natural reaction. When something seems risky, people are cautious about offering help because they don't want to get involved with something that might fail. When you're just starting out, your journey is full of uncertainty. You may have big ideas, but others can't always see your vision the way you do. Without visible progress or success, it's difficult for others to trust in what you're building. Support, in this sense, often hinges on clarity and certainty, things that come with time. Until that success is visible, your dreams might be dismissed as just another idea rather than a serious endeavor. We've all heard the saying, success speaks for itself. But here's the catch. Success isn't always immediately visible. You could be grinding away, working in silence, facing setbacks, and dealing with challenges that no one sees. Yet, once you reach a certain point, when you've proven your capabilities, then and only then do people start to show interest. Why is this the case? Why must you first prove your worth, often in isolation, before others decide to get involved? The phrase "success speaks for itself" is often used as a form of validation or justification, implying that once you're successful, people will acknowledge your effort and achievements. The problem with this mentality is that it often leads to a lack of support during the struggle. People might believe that the path you're on is too difficult, too uncertain, or not worth their time until they can see you make it to the finish line. So, Rather than supporting you in the early stages when you need it most, they withhold help until it's clear that you succeeded. The psychological impact of waiting for success. For the person trying to make it, this idea of success speaks for itself can feel incredibly discouraging. It's like you're stuck in a loop where you're expected to perform and achieve, yet you lack the support that could potentially help you reach that very point. The irony here is that many people won't believe in you until you've already made it, meaning you're essentially expected to succeed without anyone's help. This expectation can become an emotional and mental barrier, making you feel like your efforts are not good enough or worthy of attention until success is obvious. One of the reasons people often withhold support is that they want to see proof of effort before offering any form of validation. Validation is a powerful motivator, and many people need to know that their support will matter, that it will actually contribute to success. They might assume that offering support early on, when you're still in the trenches, is a waste of their time. This can be especially true in environments where results are everything. Imagine this. You're working tireless on a project, an idea, or a goal, and it feels like no one notices. You may even have those moments where you doubt your worth. The world expects you to prove yourself, to deliver results, and only then will they give you the recognition or help you deserve. This situation leaves many individuals feeling unsupported during the most difficult parts of their journey, adding to the weight of their struggle. Let's ask ourselves this deep question. Why is it that when you finally start to show signs of success, people who were once indifferent suddenly want to be involved? Why do others wait until they can see a finished product, a polished version of your dream, before they offer support? What is it about success that makes people want to be associated with it? A large part of this shift in behavior comes from the fear of missing out. Once you show potential for success, people recognize the value in being associated with you. Success creates momentum, and when others see that momentum, they want to be a part of it. It's like a club. They want to join once it starts to gain prestige. This can be frustrating for those who've been working hard behind the scenes, without the recognition they deserve until that success is clear to others. Social proof is a powerful thing. It's human nature to want to align with things that are already established as successful. People tend to believe in something once it's proven to work, but only when it's visible. So, when your journey shifts from potential to achievement, the perception of your worth changes as well, and people are more likely to offer support or show interest. The pressure to prove yourself can be overwhelming, especially when you feel like you need to constantly show your worth before receiving the help you need. But what if we question the idea that you have to prove your worth before asking for support? What if the process of growth itself is enough to deserve that support, regardless of the end result? Perhaps the reason people don't support you until you've proven yourself is tied to a deeper fear of failure and rejection. People might avoid helping you because they fear they will waste their time or become invested in something that ultimately doesn't succeed. But what if we lived in a world where support was given regardless of success or failure, where we value the effort as much as the outcome? The reality of limited support until success is evident is a frustrating but common truth. People want to see results before they commit to supporting you. But the challenge is learning how to persevere without that early support. What if we didn't need to prove our worth first? What if the very act of believing in ourselves and continuing despite the lack of support was enough to bring the right people alongside us? These are the questions that challenge us to rethink how we approach our own journeys and how we support others in theirs. Support is one of the most important elements in any journey. But the unfortunate reality is that many of us don't receive the encouragement we need until we've already achieved success. It's a hard pill to swallow, but the truth is, success tends to attract attention and validation from others. When you're starting out, whether it's a new project, business, or a personal goal, many people in your life might hesitate to offer support. They might not believe in your vision, or may even doubt your ability to succeed. And let's face it, the results aren't immediate. People often want proof before they invest their time or energy into backing you. People are generally more inclined to support you when they can clearly see that you're on the path to success. This is simply human nature. We often wait for results before investing our trust or energy into something. The truth is, success speaks loudly. Once you've achieved something significant, people are more likely to come forward with support. But it doesn't mean they were there from the start. Their support is based on what you've already proven. Why do people wait until they see you succeed before they offer their support? Is it because they truly believe in you, or because they are waiting for validation? This question digs deep into human psychology. When you're starting, you may feel like you're fighting alone, but what happens when you start achieving your goals? Why do people suddenly want to be part of your success story? Is it a genuine belief in your abilities, or merely a reaction to visible proof of success? People often jump in when it's safe, when you've made it, and they can see the rewards of your hard work. The real answer to this question might be uncomfortable, but it's important to acknowledge success is a powerful attractor. People naturally gravitate toward what is already winning, but it doesn't necessarily mean they were with you from the beginning. This can be hard to accept, especially when you're giving your all and not seeing the support you need. But it's also a powerful realization that can fuel you forward. The underdog mentality is one of the most empowering mindsets you can adopt when support is scarce. It's the realization that you don't need external validation to keep going. When others don't believe in you or fail to offer support you crave, you have an incredible opportunity to tap into your own inner drive. You can use this lack of external support as fuel for your fire. This mentality is all about embracing the challenge of proving the doubters wrong. When you don't have people cheering you on, you no longer rely on external validation to keep pushing forward. You become your own biggest supporter. And this is where real growth happens. When you discover how strong you are, even when the world isn't there to back you up, by being the underdog, you're freed from the pressure of needing approval. You're not waiting for permission from others to succeed. Instead, you're building your own self-confidence and resilience as you continue to work toward your goals. The underdog mentality gives you a unique advantage. You're not relying on others' opinions to validate your worth or potential. You develop mental toughness because you're facing challenges head-on without any external support. The struggle becomes part of the process, and overcoming it, you build a level of self-reliance and strength that few people will ever fully understand. How does having an underdog mentality empower you to push past limits and prove doubters wrong? Underdog mentality isn't about pity or weakness. It's about strength, resilience, and a fierce determination to succeed despite the odds. The absence of support gives you the freedom to redefine what's possible and challenge the limits others have placed on you. When you're underappreciated, undervalued, or ignored, you're forced to dig deeper into your own capabilities. You stop waiting for people to believe in you because you've already decided to believe in yourself. That shift in mindset, from waiting for support to creating it within yourself, can completely transform your journey. One of the greatest lessons to learn from the lack of support is how to cultivate self-belief. The absence of external validation forces you to rely on your inner confidence. It's about trusting your vision even when others can't see it. It's about keeping your eyes on the long-term goal and not getting discouraged by the silence of those around you. Self-belief is the strongest form of validation because it comes from within. It's not contingent on external factors or the opinions of others. You decide your worth and your potential. It is only through this deep-rooted self-belief that you can truly push forward, even when you feel unsupported. Success doesn't depend on waiting for people to validate you. It depends on your belief in yourself. As you move through your journey, self-confidence becomes a shield that protects you from doubts, both from others and your own mind. The moment you realize that your worth isn't tied to others' opinions is the moment you can truly start to thrive. Using success to create support. It's natural to want support when you're starting out, but in the harsh reality of many journeys, that support only comes after you've proven yourself. And while this may feel disheartening at first, it can also be viewed as an opportunity to shine brighter. When you've achieved success, your story becomes a source of inspiration for others. Those who didn't support you might now see you as a role model or someone worth admiring. The key here is that you don't need them to recognize you early on. You only need to stay committed to your path and allow your success to speak for itself. Reality is, success often brings the very validation you've been craving. The irony is, by the time you get the support, you may no longer need it, because you've already learned to validate yourself and trust your own journey. But don't get discouraged by the lack of support at the start. Let your achievements attract the support you deserve, on your own terms. Success isn't just about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you have what it takes to succeed, regardless of support or lack thereof around you. And when you finally reach that point, the support you receive will feel even sweeter because you earned it on your own terms. One of the most common reasons people may not support you at the start is fear of failure. It's a natural human instinct to avoid situations that seem risky or uncertain. If someone sees you chasing a dream that is not yet realized, they may hesitate to invest their time, energy, or resources in you because they perceive your path as uncertain. People generally prefer to put their support into ventures that have a proven track record of success. If your journey is full of unknowns, they may fear they are backing something that could fail, and in turn, they could face disappointment or embarrassment for supporting it. This fear of failure often leads to inaction, even when they may genuinely want to help. Think about a business venture or an artist trying to break into a new industry. Before they've proven their potential, it's difficult for others to fully support them because there's no tangible result. The fear of failure here stems from the idea that people don't want to risk investing in something that might not succeed. People are more likely to offer support once there's a track record of success. The results prove that their backing is safe. But until then, they stay on the sidelines, waiting to see if you'll succeed or fail. Why do we hesitate to invest our time, money, or belief in something that hasn't succeeded yet? Is the fear of failure more about us not wanting to take risks or about doubting the potential of others? Another reason people might not support you is jealousy or insecurity. When you are on a path to success, others who have their own insecurities may feel threatened by your ambition or potential. This often occurs when they see your dreams as a reflection of what they wish they could achieve themselves. This jealousy doesn't always come from a place of malice. It often stems from a feeling of inadequacy. When someone sees someone else striving for success, it can trigger their own fears and self-doubt about their ability to reach similar heights. Consider how certain friends or colleagues may start distancing themselves when you show signs of progress. They may not cheer you on, or they may undermine your efforts by subtly suggesting that your dreams are too big or unrealistic. They may downplay your potential out of fear that you will outshine them or surpass them in some way. It is important to remember that jealousy or insecurity often comes from a deep place within the individual, not necessarily from any ill intentions toward you. It's simply a reaction to the feeling of being left behind. What is it about success that makes some people feel threatened by it? Why do we sometimes see someone else's success as a challenge to our own worth rather than a source of inspiration? Sometimes, people don't offer support simply because they don't understand your vision. This is especially common when you're pursuing something unconventional or non-traditional. When your goals don't align with mainstream expectations, others might have difficulty seeing how your ambition can be translated into success. If they cannot clearly see the path or outcome of your journey, it's hard for them to believe in your potential. The lack of understanding could stem from a difference in worldview, perspective, or knowledge. Let's say you're trying to build a career as an entrepreneur, but your family members are more comfortable with traditional professions like law or medicine. They may not understand the risks or the time it takes to build a business from the ground up. Because they can't see the potential or they don't have the same entrepreneurial mindset, they might not offer you the support you need. If others cannot envision your goals, it can be hard for them to offer meaningful support. They may see it as a pipe dream or an impractical pursuit. How can we expect people to support our vision when they don't fully understand the steps it takes to get there? What role does communication and shared understanding play in receiving support from others? The underlying question of this section is why we often find it easier to support people who are already successful. This is a reflection of how we view success and ambition in others. People generally feel more comfortable supporting a venture that has already proven itself because it reduces their own perceived risk. Success becomes a form of validation. It reassures people that their support won't be in vain. This is why you often find people coming out of the woodwork to offer support only once success is visible. Take, for instance, the way social media influencers gain followers. Early on, they may have only a handful of followers, and no one seems interested in supporting their brand. But as they gain more followers and their popularity grows, they start to receive more support in terms of collaborations, sponsorships, and recognition. The success validates their presence, and the support starts to pour in. What does this tendency to support only successful people say about how we perceive ambition? Do we value results over the effort it took to get there? Fear of failure often keeps people from offering support early on, as they perceive your journey as too risky. Jealousy or insecurity can lead people to withhold support because they feel threatened by your ambition or potential success. Lack of understanding about your vision can cause others to doubt your path and leave them unsure how to help. Support often follows success because people feel more comfortable backing a proven result, which reduces their own risk. In our journey toward success, one of the most profound lessons we can learn is the power of self-support. It's easy to believe that we need others to cheer us on, to hold our hand through the difficult times, or to offer words of encouragement when we feel like giving up. However, there will be times when the support is simply not there. External validation and assistance might be scarce, or even non-existent, especially in the beginning. In these moments, it's essential to turn inward and build resilience, finding the strength and motivation within ourselves to continue pushing forward. Resilience is more than just the ability to withstand challenges. It's the capacity to bounce back, to keep going even when the odds are stacked against you. It's the mental and emotional toughness that you develop when you face adversity and rise above it. This quality isn't something that's automatically granted. It's something you have to cultivate over time. When external support isn't available, your resilience becomes your greatest ally. It helps you endure the tough moments, the periods when no one is watching, no one is applauding, and no one is offering help. It teaches you to trust in your own strength and reminds you that you have the ability to rise, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Internal motivation, on the other hand, is the drive that pushes you to keep going when you don't feel like it. It's what propels you to take the next step, even when you don't have a crowd cheering you on. Internal motivation is about tapping into your own desires, goals, and dreams, remembering why you started and how badly you want to achieve it. Without this inner spark, it's easy to give up when things get difficult. But when you learn to rely on your own motivation, you become unstoppable. You realize that your success doesn't need to be tied to external validation. In a world where people often expect you to prove yourself first before offering their support, you can't afford to wait around for others to recognize your potential. Many people won't offer you a helping hand until you've already shown that you can succeed on your own. This reality can be disheartening, but it also provides a powerful opportunity for growth. Without external support, you're forced to become resourceful, to find creative ways to make progress, even when the resources around you seem limited. You learn to think outside the box, to use what you have at your disposal, and to adapt quickly when things don't go as planned. This early period of working alone can be incredibly empowering. You start to develop skills that others might not, simply because you had to. You build problem-solving abilities, develop a strong work ethic, and learn how to be self-sufficient. It's during these times of isolation or lack of support that your true character is forged. You realize that you are capable of achieving more than you initially thought possible. And in doing so, you begin to develop a deeper sense of self-belief, one that isn't dependent on the opinions or help of others. The absence of support early on doesn't have to be viewed as a negative. In fact, it can be the driving force that propels you toward greatness. When no one else is around to push you, you find that the motivation must come from within. This is where you begin to truly connect with your inner power. You realize that waiting for support or validation from others is a form of dependence that can stifle your growth. Instead of waiting for others to recognize your worth, you take matters into your own hands and trust in your ability to create your own path. You become the architect of your own success. It's a shift in mindset, an understanding that your journey is yours alone, and that you hold the power to shape your destiny, regardless of the circumstances around you. What would happen if you shifted your focus from waiting for support to believing in your own power to succeed, without needing validation from others? This is an important question because it challenges you to consider what might be possible if you stop relying on external sources of motivation and instead became your own source of strength. Imagine how different your journey would be if you didn't need someone to tell you that you were doing well or offer you encouragement every time you stumbled. If you truly believed in your ability to succeed without needing others to validate your efforts, you would start to make decisions differently. You'd take more risks. You'd be more bold in your actions. You'd be less afraid of failure because you would know that even when things don't go as planned, you have the power to bounce back. By shifting your mindset, You stop waiting for someone to give you permission to succeed. Instead, you empower yourself to take ownership of your journey and your success. This internal shift doesn't just change the way you approach challenges, it changes the way you see yourself. When you rely on yourself, you learn that you don't need others to believe in you in order to succeed. You learn that your inner strength, creativity, and resilience are all you need to make it through. And the beauty of this is that once you succeed, the support you once craved will often come. But by then, you won't need it as much. You'll have already proven to yourself what you're capable of. When you're facing a journey without the support of others, believing in yourself becomes a bedrock upon which you build everything. It's easy to get discouraged when people around you are indifferent or even skeptical about your dreams. However, at this crucial stage, your belief in yourself is your strongest ally. You don't have external validation to rely on. There are no cheerleaders standing at the sidelines, no one shouting words of encouragement when you're exhausted. Yet, this is the most pivotal time to keep that internal fire burning. The belief that you are capable of achieving your goals, despite the absence of support, becomes your foundation. Your belief is what sustains you when the journey gets tough. It's the internal compass that keeps you moving forward when everything around you suggests you should stop. Your belief is what will attract the support you need in the future. People follow someone who believes in themselves because they can sense that energy. Without belief, you're essentially setting out on a journey with no map and no sense of direction. But if you believe, you can create your own path, no matter how difficult it might seem. How strong is your belief in yourself when there's no one else to remind you of your potential? Think about it. When you're standing alone in the middle of a challenge, with no one around to reassure you, how you keep moving? What are the core things you believe about yourself that push you forward, even when the road is unclear? In today's world, we live in a society that often celebrates instant gratification. Instant likes on social media, quick reward for little effort, and a constant buzz of immediate results. However, one of the most vital lessons you can learn is the ability to persevere through long periods where you might not see any immediate reward for your hard work. Perseverance is more than just sticking it out. It's the ability to continue working toward your goal despite the fact that no one is cheering you on, no rewards are visible, and the finish line feels miles away. When external support is absent and the world is silent about your progress, the real growth happens in these moments of perseverance. It teaches you to value effort over outcome, to focus on the process rather than immediate applause. This is where the grit you develop becomes more valuable than any external reward. Grow through struggles and moments when you are working tirelessly but aren't seeing immediate results. You are learning and growing in ways that don't require external validation. You are building mental and emotional strength, which will become invaluable later on. Developing resilience. Every setback, every obstacle you face without recognition adds to your resilience. You develop the ability to bounce back stronger, to keep moving when others might give up. Long-term success. Perseverance leads to long-term success, not just short-term wins. By sticking it out, you develop the skills, mindset, and discipline necessary to succeed sustainably. How can you keep going when the rewards seem distant and no one is acknowledging your efforts? Consider a time when you put in a lot of work and didn't see immediate results. How did you feel? What made you keep going despite the lack of recognition or reward? Reflect on how perseverance has shaped your journey and what kept you on course even when no one was watching. Both faith in yourself and perseverance are foundational qualities that will serve you well, especially when you're building something without support. They aren't just abstract concepts. They are practical tools that you need to rely on when going gets tough. Faith in yourself is what will help you see the bigger picture. It's the belief that your hard work is worth it, even when no one else can see your vision yet. Without this internal belief, you risk losing motivation and giving up too early. Perseverance is the action that stems from that belief. It's the willingness to keep going when the outcome is uncertain. It's knowing that the journey isn't always smooth, but that every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to success. When you're on a journey to success, there's a moment when the world around you seems quiet. People might doubt you, or worse, they may not believe in what you're working toward. During this time, support can be scarce. But as you grow and begin to achieve, something incredible happens. The success you've earned becomes the strongest form of support you could ever need. Let's dive into why success in itself is the best support. When you're working hard and you're in the midst of a struggle, it can feel isolating, like you're carrying the weight of the world on your own shoulders. There are times when others might not believe in your vision, your goals, or your ability to reach the finish line. This lack of support can sting and make you feel like your dreams are too big, too ambitious, or unrealistic. However, once you start to see tangible results, things begin to change. People who didn't offer their support earlier may suddenly show up, congratulating you or asking how they can be involved. It's almost as if they were waiting for your success to validate them. But here's the twist. By the time this happens, you've already reached your goal. You no longer need their support because you've proven to yourself and to the world that you can make it on your own. Success shifts people's perceptions. They begin to recognize your value once they see results. But by then, you're no longer looking for that validation. You have already become your own validation. There's a unique power in being able to achieve something on your own, without relying on external encouragement or approval. Success becomes the greatest form of validation because it speaks for itself. No matter what others think or say during the journey, your success is irrefutable evidence of your determination, skill, and ability to rise above challenges. Think about this for a moment. When you're struggling, people may have their doubts, but once you've made it, once you've reached that point of success, it's like a loud, resounding answer to every question and every doubt that was ever thrown your way. It's a powerful reminder that you didn't need anyone's help to get to where you are. You did it on your own terms, on your own strength, and with your own belief in your ability. Your success not only validates your potential, but also shows the world that even when no one believed in you, you didn't stop. Your achievements are a clear sign of your resilience and determination. Here's where it gets interesting. When we're struggling, we often crave support, recognition, or encouragement from others. But what if we stopped waiting for someone else to tell us we're capable? What if we took the initiative and simply believed in ourselves, even when no one else did? Many people only begin to believe in you once you've already achieved something noteworthy. But here's the reality. Their belief doesn't matter as much as your belief in yourself. Waiting for external validation might hold you back from reaching your potential because it causes you to rely on others' opinions of you instead of focusing on your own vision. Don't wait for others to believe in you before you start. Believe in yourself first and let your success prove you right. The world may not understand your journey until the fruits of your labor are visible, but that's okay. Your success is all the support you need. Once you've made it, once you've experienced the fruits of your labor, you realize that the most fulfilling kind of support is not the kind that comes from outside, but the kind that comes from within. Self-validation is the most freeing form of support because it doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. You've proven to yourself that you can succeed regardless of whether people were there for you or not. When you stop waiting for others to give you permission to be successful, it shifts the dynamic of your life. You begin to act with confidence because you know that your success isn't tied to someone else's approval or encouragement. You've learned to trust your own abilities and, in turn, you can now rise without depending on external forces. The freedom that comes from self-validation allows you to stay grounded and focused on your journey. It's liberating to realize that your worth isn't determined by others' opinions, but by the results you create through your own hard work. Now, we arrive at a deep, reflective question. What's more powerful? Having support during the struggle or earning your own success and showing the world that you can do it alone? There's a certain sweetness that comes with proving to yourself that you can achieve your goals without needing to depend on anyone else. The process of success becomes even more meaningful when it's something you earn through your own efforts, even when the odds were stacked against you. On the other hand, support during the struggle can certainly be valuable. It can provide encouragement and make the journey less lonely. But when support is conditional, it's not always a solid foundation. Support is temporary. Success is permanent. While support from others is helpful, it's not essential to your success. The most powerful form of support comes from within. When you can validate yourself and trust in your ability to succeed, you are no longer reliant on external factors. You've learned that your worth is determined by what you achieve, not by the applause or endorsement of others. So let's reflect. Yes, the journey to success can be lonely. At times, it feels like no one is cheering for you. But remember, the moment you succeed, when you prove to yourself that you can do it on your own, that's when the real support begins. It's not the support of others that defines you, but the unwavering belief in yourself and your ability to achieve what you set out to do. Success, in its purest form, is the best kind of support. It's proof that you don't need external validation to succeed. You just need to believe in yourself and keep pushing forward. Your success will speak louder than any words of encouragement ever could. Self-affirmation is a practice of reminding yourself of your worth, your values, and your abilities, regardless of external opinions or outcomes. It's about cultivating an internal source of strength and validation that doesn't rely on the approval or recognition of others. Confidence, on the other hand, is a belief in your ability to succeed, even in the face of adversity or uncertainty. Together, self-affirmation and confidence lay the foundation for personal growth, allowing you to take bold actions, make decisions, and pursue goals without feeling dependent on others' perceptions of your worth. You tell yourself, I am capable, I am enough, I am worthy of success. This is not just empty talk. It's a powerful tool for rewiring your mindset. By affirming your strengths, qualities, and potential, you gradually build a foundation for lasting confidence. It's like putting on an armor made of belief in yourself, regardless of whether or not others acknowledge it. Confidence grows when you trust that your abilities and decisions matter. It's the understanding that even if someone doesn't agree with you or doesn't offer their support, you have what it takes to figure things out. You trust your instincts and you trust your journey. Confidence is built through action, not through external applause. Success is an internal journey first. One of the key realizations on the road to success is that true success starts within. Before the world acknowledges your achievements, you must first acknowledge your potential. This is where self-affirmation comes in. It's the internal validation that propels you forward, long before anyone else notices the progress you're making. External validation, such as praise, awards, or recognition from others, follows success, not the other way around. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to believe in you? The journey begins with trusting your process. Every step you take, every decision you make, and every mistake you learn from contributes to your internal journey. Eventually, as you continue moving forward and refining your approach, the external validation, like compliments, recognition, and even material success, begins to flow in naturally. Early on, when no one is watching and when the results aren't immediately visible, the only thing that can keep you going is self-belief. External approval can be inconsistent. There will be times when people don't understand your vision, or worse, when they may even doubt your abilities. That's why the internal source of affirmation is crucial. If you can hold on to your own belief in your mission and keep pushing forward, success will inevitably follow. The key to long-term success lies in learning to validate yourself. We've all been in situations where we felt like we needed someone's approval to feel worthy or capable. It could be waiting for a boss to acknowledge your hard work, or hoping for the support of family and friends before you take the next big step. But what if we didn't wait for that external validation? What if we simply trusted that we were on the right path, regardless of what others think? This doesn't mean ignoring feedback or constructive criticism. It means relying less on others to define your worth. You can acknowledge your progress, celebrate small wins, and recognize the effort you put in without waiting for someone else to say, "Good job." When you validate yourself, you are not dependent on others to affirm your worth, which is incredibly freeing. You learn to trust that every part of your journey, even the setbacks, are steps forward. If you understand that failure is part of the process, it becomes easier to persist without feeling defeated when external support is absent. Trusting the process means knowing that everything you're doing is contributing to your ultimate success. Each failure isn't a dead end, it's a stepping stone. How can we learn to affirm ourselves and rely less on external validation? What would our lives look like if we stopped waiting for approval and started acting based on our own belief in ourselves? This is a critical question for reflection because, in asking it, you open up an entirely new way of thinking. What if you stopped waiting for someone else to give you permission to succeed? What if you began to recognize your value and your ability to achieve, no matter what the world said? Here's why this matters. External validation will always be fleeting. The world's approval will come and go. People's opinions will change. But when you learn to affirm yourself, you no longer need to wait for anyone else's approval to feel worthy of your dreams. Think about how different your life would be if you stopped seeking validation before taking action. If you trusted yourself, even when no one else did, would you move faster toward your goals? Would you take more risks? Would you stop letting fear of judgment hold you back? This shift in mindset allows you to break free from external constraints, letting you step into your true potential. Imagine how freeing it would be to act based on your own belief, without fearing rejection or disapproval. You wouldn't be waiting for others to tell you that you're doing the right thing. You would simply do it, knowing that your journey is valid regardless of who is watching. When we seek external validation, we often tie our success to the reactions of others. But when we rely on self-affirmation, we become more resilient. The rejections, the criticisms, and the setbacks lose their power because you know that your worth is not defined by others. Finally, imagine how much more confident you would be in your decisions if you knew that you were your own source of validation. In moments of uncertainty or when things aren't going according to plan, you would still have the confidence to keep moving forward. Overcoming the need for external validation is a game changer. It's about becoming your own cheerleader, your own motivator, and your own biggest supporter. Trusting yourself and affirming your worth will take you much further in life than waiting for someone else to recognize you. The true power comes from within. When you believe in yourself, success is no longer dependent on external factors. By shifting your mindset from waiting for approval to trusting in your own abilities, you'll create a stronger, more resilient foundation for achieving your goals. It's not about ignoring others' opinions or feedback, but rather about anchoring your worth in your own belief in yourself. When you can do that, you'll be unstoppable. Remember, success is often a solitary journey. The world may not believe in you until you prove them wrong. But trust in your ability, push through the silence, and keep grinding. The support you crave will come when they see the results you've built on your own. Stay focused, stay resilient, and always remember, your breakthrough is just ahead. Keep going and keep making it happen. Don't wait for approval. Create your own success. If you found value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Stay strong and never stop believing in your potential.